Good day. I am Eliza Michelle de Lemos, and I am here to present a research example of 2 by 2 factorial experiment. Let us take a closer look at an experimental example of a 2 by 2 factorial experiment. This experiment produced one significant main effect along with a significant interaction. Liner and Chaiken, year 1990, were interested in the relationship between gender and eating behavior. It is well known that, in our culture at least, young women show a greater concern with eating lightly and being slim than do men. Even though research has shown that young men do not really prefer slim over average weight women, many American women seem obsessed with being thin. Anorexia and bulimia, potentially life-threatening eating disorders, can be an end product of this distorted view of the ideal female body image. Liner and Chaiken believe that thinness and light eating have come to be viewed as appropriate sex role behaviors for women, making them appear more feminine than their heavy eating counterparts. If this is the case, women should be especially prone to eat lightly in situations where they want to appear most feminine. The authors conducted an experiment that tested the following hypothesis. Women will eat less in the presence of an opposite-sex partner than in the presence of another of the same sex. But men's eating behavior will not be influenced by their partner's gender. Liner and Chaiken predicted that two variables, subject sex and partner sex, would interact in their effects on eating behavior. Let us look at the variables in their experiment. What must be manipulated to test the hypothesis? First, the behavior of women must be compared with that of men. The first independent variable is the sex of the subject. Notice that the factor is subject variable. The manipulation is simply the selection process. Subjects are automatically assigned to an experimental group based on their gender. Second, the sex of the subject's partner must be manipulated. The second independent variable is the gender of a second person with whom the subjects are paired, a partner of the same or opposite sex. Individual subjects in the experiment were led to believe that they and a partner were taking part in a study on the effects of hunger on task performance. They had been asked not to eat anything the day of the experiment, so that they would be hungry when they arrived. Each subject was told that he or she and the partner had been assigned to the full condition of the experiment and would be asked to eat as much as it took them to feel comfortably full while working on the experimental task. Crackers with various toppings were provided. Early in the session, the subject and partner were interviewed together by the experimenter. This interview was designed to give subjects the impression that their partner was single and socially attractive. The dependent variable in this experiment was eating behavior. The researchers measured eating by counting how many crackers each subject ate. To make sure that the partner's eating did not confound the experiment, the partner always ate 15 crackers, about 315 calories. The researchers' hypothesis would be supported if a significant interaction between the two factors was obtained. If women ate fewer crackers in the presence of the opposite sex partner than with the same sex partner, but men's eating did not differ. Remember that in a factorial experiment, we always look at the effect of each independent variable separately, as well as looking for an interaction. These main effects explore each factor by itself, ignoring the other. These are like the effects we would get if we had conducted two separate experiments. one testing the effect of subject sex on eating, and one testing the effects of partner sex on eating. Did the first factor, subject sex, produce any effects on eating? The answer is yes. Statistical tests indicated that the experiment produced a significant main effect for this factor. If we just consider how many crackers men and women tended to eat in the experiment, we find that men ate more crackers on the average than women. This is not too surprising. We expected men to eat more than women do. Did the second factor, same or opposite sex partner, have any effect by itself on eating? The answer is no. The statistical tests confirmed that, in general, it did not make any difference whether the partner was the same or opposite sex. If we combine all the data of all subjects in the experiment, we find that, on the average, people ate about the same amount of crackers whether the partners were the same sex or opposite sex. There were a few more men than women in the experiment, which brought the average for entire group up slightly, so the average number of crackers eaten in the presence of either type of partner was about 12.3. Finally, we look at the interaction. Recall that the interaction describes the effects of one factor, male versus female subjects, at different levels of the other, same-sex versus opposite-sex partners. The interaction asks whether men's or women's eating habits change with different kinds of partners. Was Pliner and Chaiken's hypothesis supported? The answer is yes. Statistical tests indicated that there was a significant interaction between subject sex and type of partner. Men ate about the same amount whether their partner was the same or the opposite sex. But, as expected, women varied their eating depending on the gender of their partner. If their partner was the same sex, they ate more than if their partner was the opposite sex.